And hello and welcome to episode 80 of the GrowCast Show, How Time Passes Today. And on episode 80, I have a friend of mine who is a doctor turned entrepreneur turned banker, and currently he's the founder and principal consultant at Fin Group. I have none other with me. Dr. U-Jin, how are you feeling today?
Feeling excellent, Vicky. Thank you for having me on the show.
My pleasure. And I understand, Dr. U-Jin, you graduated as a medical doctor, right? So what made you change your career path and what did you do?
So interesting that you asked, Vicky. I was the first and still am the only doctor in the family. I was supposed to be training to be a hotshot surgeon. But if you remember in 2002, it was the period of SARS. Actually, it was a lot more serious than COVID that was in the recent years. And after going through all that, and I got recently married, my wife, who was with for foreign affairs, actually got posted overseas. So she said, shall we go? And I said, we just got married, so let's go. And I decided to take a break. And we went over to Thailand and I did business. I ran a cafe like every Singaporean wants to. And I came back and I was already 5 years behind my peers. So I thought, let's mix things up a bit. So I went into medical and non-medical businesses and I even joined a bank. In fact, I was a private banker for 5 years. And after that 20 years post-graduation, I realized I think I found my real calling. And it was not really to be a doctor, Vicky. Yeah.
And I think like what you said, every Singaporean dream, right? To open up a cafe. Exactly. What more in Thailand some more. And also, but then interestingly, why did you choose to transition to financial advisory?
Vicky, after 20 years, and especially the last 5 years, was very formative in helping me come to this decision. I was serving doctors as a banker, and I realized that the finance industry was a little bit broken, and two main issues. And the first issue was we were treating our clients in silos. So if you come to me for a loan, I gave you a loan. If you came to me for insurance, because I'm an insurance agent, I sold you insurance or investment if a banker. And the most important thing is estate planning. No one cares about that. So we treat a client, not a patient, in silos because that's how we're remunerated. That's how we're paid and that's how we're trained. And so I felt that was an issue because like a doctor, I shouldn't be treating you for that symptom that you came to me for. I should treat you as an entire patient, and same for clients. It's the same. You come to me for one thing, I should be able to deal with the other things and not how I'm remunerated. And the second big problem was the fact that in the finance industry, our interests are not aligned with the clients. In fact, we say we want to do the best for the client, but often their interests are behind ours, behind our bosses, behind our institution. And that was a problem that needed to be fixed. So I felt with these two big things, I can't find a shop that I could practice how I want to practice. So hence, I decided to build my own shop in financial advisory.
And also, since we are talking about the whole shop that you created, right? Can you tell us a little bit more? How is your practice different from others and what do you hope to achieve?
So, Vicky, those two big problems that I wanted to solve, I realized that I needed to build. And what was the first one? Not to be able to treat client in silos, but to solve their problems first, regardless of what they came to me for. And these four pillars were, first one, mortgage loans. Second is insurance. Third is wealth. And fourth is estate planning. Every client deserves to be served adequately in all these four areas. And I decided to assemble all these services under one shop and train my team to be able to serve clients adequately. But to be able to do that, it doesn't solve the second problem of alignment of interest. So I decided that every service that I provided, I needed to be able to represent all, if possible, providers in the market. And hence, I can be very aligned with the client's interest and as well as to be a one-stop service to solve their problems first, rather than think of how much I can make from this guy.
Very nice. And I also know, Eugene, you and your team, you focus solely on the healthcare niche, right? But is focusing solely on the healthcare niche too small a market to serve?
Yeah, Vicky, a lot of people wonder about that. And the truth is, there are many healthcare people out there. Just doctors alone, there are 12,000. And every year, 500 to 600 new doctors are being minted. And surely less than that number are retiring or, not practicing anymore. So the truth is, in my practice, because we go so deep in our relationship and our service with the clients, in a typical year, and if I may reflect on the years where I reached, what they call the pinnacle, top of the table, in that year alone, I only serve 5 to 6 clients. And that is testament to how deep we go into. We solve all the problems and we really, really don't need that many clients. And if all of us did TOT and we only needed 5 to 6 clients, how long will it take to serve 12,000 doctors? And we're not even talking about the dentists, the nurses, nurses, the radiographers, many healthcare people out there not being served. And hence we decided, I think we need to build this team to be able to serve all these people that need us out there. Yeah. So there are many healthcare clients out there.
I mean, I personally love the niche. When I first talked to you about it, I was like, okay, the group has got it spot on. So I personally love the fact that you guys are niching there. But then, affluent clients or the high net worth, right? They already have many advisors or private bankers that are serving them, right? So is it too late for someone to help them, or is there still an opportunity?
So maybe to clarify, although our positioning is that we focus on healthcare, because that is, after all, my unfair advantage. This niche where, because I'm a doctor turned entrepreneur and banker, obviously I have an unfair advantage. But the platform that I've built clearly actually can serve the affluent market, regardless of whether you're a doctor or other professionals or a business owner. But when people say these affluent clients already have many advisors, my answer is I would be surprised if you were not. You didn't have several bankers, several insurance agents. But what I'm not surprised is, and this is something which I would like to share to people out there, is don't assume that the high net worth affluent client is well served, because in my experience, they're often not. In fact, they're underserved. They have needs that either they don't know about or they don't want to tell the advisor about because they are afraid they get sold. And that, really is a problem, and everybody loses, Vicky. And so, we need to fix that.
Very nice. And if, Dr. U-Jin, if you could give one piece of advice on successfully serving the high net worth market, what would it be?
The same thing that I tell all my guys when they join me, a high net worth and affluent client is still a human, and they have pressing needs that they feel they need to solve. And that need or that objective may not be yours, but go in, solve that problem first. Okay, don't be focused on the number. Don't be focused on how much you think you can earn. Solve the problem first, and the rest will follow, because then you earn the client's trust. And even if the client is unable to give you the business now, there will be opportunities down the road. And most certainly, if you are worth your salt, you'll get a quality referral. So don't be afraid. Don't be rushed to try to make that buck. Solve that problem first. The rest will follow.
Very nicely said. And for someone who is new, Eugene, who's considering joining your group, right? So let's say if they ask you, do I need a healthcare background to serve the healthcare market? What would you say?
Vicky, I had this ideal that, maybe I should go find a couple more folks like me, with a medical degree, has worked in a bank before. But no, I think that's not necessary. In fact, if I were to, I tried getting some doctors to join me, but I think they worked out much less, not as desirable as getting people who really want to serve clients. So I tell people out there who want to join financial advisory and serve doctor clients, you don't need to be a doctor. In fact, by joining, being in my shop, and I have the domain knowledge, I share with you how a doctor thinks and what a doctor wants, and that is enough. And together with a adequate platform and with that philosophy, serve them in alignment with their interests, solve their problems. And you don't need to be a doctor to serve a doctor.
Makes sense. And if somebody tells you also, I don't have any connections in the healthcare industries, what can I do?
Well, as a very healthcare focused outfit, our marketing initiatives and our branding obviously targets the healthcare sector. But I often want to prove a point that it's not so much that, if you come with a big healthcare network or you're a doctor yourself, that will give you the leg up. In fact, I often go to, let's say, an existing advisor that joins me. I say, look at your existing clients, and I'll show you how, with your existing clients, that gold mine that you were sitting on, that you didn't know how to maximize the potential and help the clients, and how they can often MDRT, double MDRT with their existing clients themselves. And only when they have realized the power of the potential of the platform and how they could have served the clients that maybe they were serving for the last 3 to 5 years and maybe only has one endowment plan, now they can get MDRT just like that. And when they reach that stage of an enlightenment, then they're ready to serve the healthcare market.
Makes sense. And I know you mentioned just now about how you did TOT with 5 to 6 clients, right? So typically, what about for you and your team? How many clients does it take to serve in a typical year to hit MDRT, COT or TOT with your platform?
It's interesting. When I first joined the industry, I went to an awards dinner and I was sitting at this table and it said MDRT table. And there were 2 folks with me and both were MDRT. And I asked the guy on my left, hey, how many clients did you serve this year? He said 365. I was like, wow, oh my God. I mean, you have served like literally 1 client a day to get the MDRT. And the guy on my left said, I only serve one client. So it's not that we're trying to be lazy to serve clients, as little clients as possible, but I feel that to do meaningful work, we need to go very, very deep. So the truth is, if you choose the correct category of clients, 5 to 6 clients can get you that MDRT. And how do you then get TOT with 5 to 6 clients? Is because you are going to a different level of clients, the more affluent clients, you're doing bigger cases, you're going a lot more in depth. So typically 5 to 6, no more than 10 clients a year, I think is what a good advisor can deal with and can cope and give good enough service. Yeah, about 10, no more than 10.
Fair enough. I think the service part, especially the high net worth client, they require a lot more TLC as well, right?
Exactly, yes.
Nice. And for yourself and your team, Dr. U-Jin, what is your vision for your advisory practice for the next 5 to 10 years?
Vicky, I could have just stayed on doing multiple TOTs, and do sales and, spend time and my money doing what I like to. But I realized that because I wanted to build this platform, I thought, my ideal, maybe the legacy I wanted to leave behind. And I tell my wife and my kids is that I want the brand Fin Group to be the brand that all healthcare professionals, be it if you're a senior doctor, you're a junior doctor, you're a nurse, you're a radiographer, you're a physiotherapist, we want them to be able to say, hey, my first insurance, my first loan, my first investment, my estate plan, I want these guys at Fin Group to be able to do it for me. And I know that I was successful because my network, my peers, I'm 50 this year, and my peers were senior doctors and obviously they had the money. But then what about the younger guys? And what about my guys who are not doctors? How do we then enable them to go and serve their healthcare out there? Is to build a brand that is synonymous with healthcare specialists. We serve all financial needs, one stop, and we solve your problems first in alignment with your interests. So that's my ideal. 5 to 10 years when I can, fade in the background, maybe just give inspirational talks, where my guys can carry the brand proudly to be able to serve healthcare folks out there.
Very nicely said. And I'm looking forward to having the Fin Group brand grow as well. I think it's very exciting times ahead for you. But maybe for someone who is just considering a career as a financial advisor, right? What is the number one piece of advice you would give to someone considering a career as a financial advisor?
Well, to be a successful financial advisor, they come in all shapes and sizes. It's a fallacy that you need to be a natural salesperson like I am. Maybe you need to be an extrovert. If you're looking at my team, I have people who are really, quite timid, quiet. We have some people who are, much older. I have a 62-year-old gentleman, mid-career, people who have been successful in their previous MNC jobs. And, they come in all shapes and sizes. So really, if you have the heart to want to help people and you enjoy solving problems, and of course you don't mind the rewards that comes with it, and it's not just monetary rewards, because the joy is to be able to go to bed knowing that you have done a good job, and of course the advantage is then the money usually follows after that. So what's not to like, right? Yeah,
very nicely said. And also there are so many advisors. The last I checked, I think there are 18,000 advisors, and of course MDRT is also considered the cream of the crop to some extent, right? But there are many agents who are, or what advice would you give to an advisor who is stuck at MDRT but struggling to break through to COT or TOT?
So, in this day and age where technology is advancing, where AI is really in the forefront, the truth is, and whether we want to admit it or not, serving the mass market in financial advisory is going to be, if not already, a sunset industry. The truth is that why would you need an advisor to give you advice for a standard term plan, whole life plan? You would not, because I'm pretty sure an AI would be able to derive your needs and give you many suggestions much quicker. So for advisors that are just struggling to reach MDRT and can't break that barrier, it's probably because they are doing a lot of mass market business. It's tiring. Every 1st January you start on the hamster wheel again, and it doesn't get you anywhere. And they do business in a very transactional way. I sell you one policy, I go and find a next guy that's going to buy that policy from me. So they have to stop. We have to go upstream, go to the mass, affluent, high net worth market. That is the way and the only way that they can probably sustainably go beyond MDRT to their COTs and TOTs and enjoy the journey while doing it. Yeah.
Very true. I'm sure you heard about Lemonade as well in the US, right? Lemonade is an AI tech platform platform,
Yes.
and they're using insurance as well. So totally agree with you on how the mass market can easily be served with AI. But talking about, agents who are new, correct? So if you're new in the group, you're new to the whole advisory world as well, right? So how do you help new agents in your group hit MDRT in their very first year?
Well, in all honest truth, if you were brand new, first day, never done a day in banking or finance before, I would say go get some experience first in perhaps a tied agency, a bank, because it will be overwhelming to most people to come into a platform where you suddenly have not one insurer, but 25 insurers, and you have to do mortgage and estate planning. Yeah. But those that have spent at least a year out there, they know what they don't want and they know what they need. Be it they feel they need to give their clients choice. They feel that they need a platform that's able to serve more than just selling insurance. They need to have a brand, a persona that elevates them from just, a lowly insurance agent, or they need a mentor, or they need a team that supports them. And that's where I think they will be ready to elevate and to try and serve mass affluent and upwards. Yeah, so it takes time. It's not an easy journey, but it's a journey that everyone has to take. Because if you stay at mass market, then you're not going to last very long.
Makes perfect sense. But also talking about MDRT, so everybody, I think by now, everybody understands what is MDRT. But why is hitting MDRT yearly a good benchmark for success in the financial advisory world?
Yeah, so like you rightly said, MDRT is the global standard for recognition of success. But increasingly, MDRT is almost like the minimum standard that you should achieve. Because otherwise, if you don't even hit MDRT, the truth is you may be better off getting a paid job out there. Yeah. So there are many other awards, but MDRT still remains the globally recognized award that people strive to achieve. And it's something that if they achieve consistently and not just one time, it's something they should be proud of. Be it just a single MDRT, double MDRT, COT, TOT. Yeah, something that they've worked hard to deserve, and they should proudly wear it on their chest.
Very nice. And what do you think though? Because you've spoken to so many advisors, you've been in the industry for a while, right? What do you think makes the difference, or what do you think is the difference between a good advisor and a great advisor?
A good advisor minimally needs to be competent. So, I as a consumer, I surely would want an advisor that knows his stuff across not just your products, beyond insurance, for example. I need someone to be competent so that I can trust that this advisor can solve my needs. But a great and excellent advisor would be someone that, goes above and beyond and, wants to solve my problem first. And most importantly, I can see that he's not doing this with the sole motivation of making money. And that's difficult, Vicky, because when you know that this guy is going to be potentially a $100,000 revenue client, how do you then hold it in, and solve that other problem that he's asking you to solve first? And is that skill, that mastery, that you can do it believing in yourself that it will come. You deliver that solution to his problem, and you deliver that service, and trust that the client will come back to you, even if not now, somewhere down the road, and he will refer. And I think that is where you can say that you have achieved that mastery. Yeah.
I think so. I think a lot of it is the mindset, right? The difference between a good advisor and a great advisor.
Correct.
Yeah, because I think I totally agree. You can see it and you can feel it more of a feeling than a looking thing as well.
Exactly. That's right.
And without any further delay, I want to go dive deeper with Dr. U-Jin about the book that he wrote 3 years ago. So, Dr. U-Jin, can you tell us about the book that you wrote about 3 years ago?
Well, Vicky, the book was a long time coming. I have achieved, I've reached certain heights in the financial advisory in a short period of time, focusing a lot on the healthcare professionals. And people are wondering, so how did you do it, Dr. U-Jin? And I was asked, I've given talks in here and there. And I thought, why not put it together in a written form? And hence, I wrote this book called The Rainmaker Financial Practice Secrets. So I thought, who reads books nowadays, right? And but I wrote it nonetheless. And I was given a talk, and I put it up there, and I said, viewers, viewers, if you like, I'm selling this book. I have 50 copies, and please scan this QR code. And as the QR code came up, in about 6 or 7 minutes, someone was nudging my chair. Dr. U-Jin, 52 orders came in already. Please stop. So I had to tell people to stop. So I mean, well, I felt proud at getting my thoughts out there, and it's something which I feel I always want to be able to leave behind, a bit of a legacy, a bit of some of my thoughts about why I do what I do in financial advisory. And so, the book,
And I mean, obviously, because that book becomes your name card, right? Because that obviously separates you from other people. And from the kind of work that you do, I can tell it's always different from the other people. But from your experience, how is having that book, right, helped you to elevate your authority status in the financial advisory world?
First of all, writing a book is not easy. Although maybe in this day and age with AI, they can ghostwrite a book for you. But, the truth is I spent many, many hours in putting my thoughts into that book. And it makes me happy when I meet people on the streets for during causes where they say, "Hey, Dr. U-Jin, I bought your book." And I think, that in a way somehow implicitly sets me apart, and gives me that level of authority that, perhaps, I've done something right, serving the high net worth in this, with my thoughts in the book. So I think yes, got to me somewhere. But I mean, it's just one book. I'm still working on the second version. Hopefully that comes out soon.
Okay, very nice. And also, from your experience as well, do you feel that, the second, so when you say you're coming up with the second version, are you coming up with the second version, or are you coming up with the second book altogether?
Well, haven't really thought about that. I have quite a lot of extra content. So whether I'm going to do a version 2 with more bonus sections or come up with a totally different book, that remains to be seen. But I want to get it out there. Yeah. And I know if it's going to be, if the journey is going to look too long for me, I may not even get started. Yeah, you know how it goes.
Of course. Yeah. And if somebody wants to get a copy of the book that you wrote, where can they get a copy of the book?
Well, we have run out of the print copy. I am planning to make available a PDF copy. All the legit stuff is there, and it's much easier to bring around. And I will make it available soon. Yeah.
Very nice. So if you want to know where to get the PDF copy, keep a lookout in the show notes, because I will be adding them inside the show notes soon as well. And I want to find out a little bit more, Dr. U-Jin, about the work that you do in the healthcare sector. So can you share with us what exactly is an LPA and how does it work?
So LPA stands for Lasting Power of Attorney. It is actually a legal document that you will create. You as a donor will then appoint up to 2 donees. These donees are the people that you will give powers to act upon your behalf in the event that you lose mental capacity. So, it's an extremely important document because in this day and age, life is uncertain, especially COVID recently has shown us that you can lose mental capacity for various reasons. And this document, this LPA will allow then your loved ones, your family members to act on your behalf without having to go back to the court of law, spend money just to do certain things that you would have otherwise done yourself if you retain mental capacity. In fact, the government is pushing hard to get the public to adopt the LPA by waiving the filing fees of $70. And they've done that for 3 years. They've extended it till March 2026. But still, maybe 7 out of 10 Singaporeans still have not done their LPA. And that's distressing to me. Yeah.
And also, does everyone need an LPA?
Well, I would say almost everyone, because the powers that you give your donee are extremely large. So the only reason you don't have an LPA done is not because you are young. It's not because you think I will never become mentally incapacitated. It's only because you don't have someone you trust enough. But even having said that, someone who doesn't have any trusted individual, there is an option to appoint a professional donee to act on your behalf. So maybe to answer that question again, everybody needs an LPA.
And I know that you also have a campaign where you educate healthcare professionals and the public on LPA, right? Can you share with us a bit more? Why did you start this campaign to educate healthcare professionals on LPA?
So you see, the funny thing is, Vicky, as healthcare professionals, and not just doctors, nurses, anyone who works in healthcare, we see death and disability every day. But somehow, we don't put our own affairs in order. And I've seen that in my healthcare colleagues all the time. In fact, the statistics may be even worse than the 7 out of 10. Maybe 8 or 9 out of 10 have not got their affairs in order. So I decided, no, this cannot work. And hence, I decided to come up with our campaign this year. We are going to certify at least 2,000 LPAs, lasting power of attorneys, among healthcare professionals this year. And we do that by running workshops 2 times a month, every month in the year of 2025. And these LPA workshops are completely free, not just for healthcare professionals, but for their family as well.
Very nice. And is, for healthcare professionals, right, LPA is important. And one part of having your affairs in order is estate planning. So is estate planning very costly in Singapore?
So that's a common misconception. Estate planning can be free. So doing an LPA obviously is not free because you would have to visit a LPA certificate issuer, which could be a doctor, could be a lawyer, a psychiatrist. Fees could range from $30 to $300. But for us, we perform this service of certifying LPAs for healthcare professionals and their family members without charge because we think it's important enough that they get it done. And I don't want that little bit of cost to stop them from doing that. But that's just LPA. In estate planning, there's also writing your will. And the truth is, common fallacy, you need a lawyer to write your will, but the truth is you don't. You can even pull off a template of Google. There are actually free will writing services online. Of course, they're very basic. And of course, you have a full-blown will that can cost $5,000. So it's a spectrum. But estate planning doesn't have to be expensive and is essential for everyone.
And I think maybe the reason why estate planning is expensive because the name sounds expensive, right?
Yeah.
So maybe Dr. U-Jin, would you mind sharing how would you define estate planning?
So in our mind, estate planning is a spectrum of things that you must do. Actually, it's pretty well defined. So we've mentioned about LPA, lasting power of attorney. We've mentioned about getting your will done. And for people with more complex needs, they may want to consider a trust to be written. And a trust is really not, it doesn't have to be expensive. It's not just for the high net worth. People say, I need to have at least 10 million bucks to write a trust. That's not true at all. It can be almost free. Included in estate planning will be things like getting your CPF nomination in order, very basic, getting your insurance plans nominated. And so this is the spectrum of estate planning. And it also includes things like advanced care planning, advanced medical directive. So it's a pretty big spectrum, not very well known, but it's so important, Vicky. Yeah.
I totally agree because like I said, it sounds expensive, right? So that's why it puts many people off as well. But from your experience, you've spoken to so many people, you do these workshops, right? What are some misconceptions that people have with regards to getting their LPA or estate planning done?
So you touched on one thing which is cost. A lot of them are put off by what they perceive as a high cost. For example, writing your will. It's so expensive to pay a lawyer to write your will. And then, what if I change my will? I have to pay again. Again, both are not true. You can get it for free at the start and you can do it, redo it again for free or low cost. So cost is usually one of the big things. And second big misconception is, we need a lawyer to do this. I can address, you don't need a lawyer to do this. In fact, there are many other ways to get this done. And third is, perhaps I'm too young, or perhaps I need to get my affairs in order first, or I'm not rich enough. And all these are actually wrong because the truth is someone with no estate planning done, i.e. no will versus your first simple will, the results or the outcome is literally night and day, Vicky. So you cannot not do your estate planning.
Very, very educational in that sense, and all the misconceptions that you pointed out as well. I think anybody on the street will have that as well. But especially for healthcare workers, because Fin Group specializes in helping healthcare workers, right? So why should healthcare workers come to Fin Group to get their LPA certified or even their estate planning done or even their wills written? So
besides the fact that we do outreach to healthcare workers with our twice a month LPA and estate planning workshops, the truth is we understand healthcare workers better. We feel that we know the journey they've walked, we know the pain and suffering and the hardships that they go through as healthcare workers, and we empathize with them. And we want to tell them that, hey, look, you're not alone in this journey. And because we're healthcare specialists, and that's what we call ourselves, we believe that we are best suited to help our fellow healthcare workers out there to take care of not just their estate plan, but the full spectrum of financial advisory.
Nice. And for somebody who tells you that I already have a will done, right? Do I still need an LPA?
So first of all, let's address that I already have a will done. So many times when they say, I already have a will done, I will say, are you sure? And they say, yeah, very sure. And I'll ask a second time, are you sure? And they'll say, actually, as a draft, I haven't signed it, equals to you to have no will. But even those who have had their will done, often it was done many years ago. It was done by, a friend, and it was just done by the way, for example. And all that are reasons to revisit your will. And I always tell them, it doesn't cost you very much, but it can change, it can solve a lot of potential issues if you get your will re-looked at. But even if you have a will only comes into effect when you're no longer around. An LPA, lasting power of attorney, comes into effect when you lose mental capacity. So if you are still alive, a will doesn't work. If you have passed on, an LPA doesn't work. So you need both.
So that's why they both go hand in hand.
They both go hand in hand, yes.
And what is the catch? I'm sure you get this question asked a lot, right? Like, what is the catch for, what is in it for Fin Group? What is the catch of doing free LPA certification for healthcare professionals in Singapore?
Well, first and foremost, and I sincerely say this, I think, I feel it's regardless of whether you're healthcare or not, an LPA, a will, and estate planning is absolutely crucial and essential for everyone. But because we are healthcare specialists, we want to bring this to our healthcare workers as a form of a service, a bit of give back, and a bit of a CSR. That's our CSR initiative. But we know that through the process of estate planning, we can uncover many other potential needs or concerns that they may or may not even know they had. And we believe that with our comprehensive platform, we're able to identify those problems, propose certain solutions, and if there's an opportunity to serve them with some of our service providers, we go ahead and do that. And I believe that we do this with sincerity, and we know that the majority of healthcare workers out there have unmet needs. And why aren't they meeting it? Various reasons, because they just don't have time, or they just have misconceptions, or they're just fearful to be sold at. And hence, we believe that with our sincerity and with our business philosophy, if we have the privilege or opportunity to be able to solve some of these problems, I think it's a win-win for everyone.
Very nice. And do you also help healthcare professionals to do up their will at a low cost?
In fact, we have many solutions. We even have a solution that is using a platform to provide will writing for healthcare workers at zero cost. It's not, it can be it is pretty robust will, and it can cover most of the needs of healthcare workers out there. But of course, if there are concerns or there are wishes that are a little bit beyond this, we will tell them. So they may want to consider some of the paid services with some of our partners and lawyers. Yeah, but most of the time, you can get your first will done at no cost. Yeah, it's hard to believe, but it is actually true.
Very nice. And if somebody cannot remember if they have a LPA certified, where can they check?
Also, that's easy. Until 2021, LPAs were done in hard copy. But today, you have this site called the Office of Public Guardian, where with a simple check of your SingPass, you're able to check whether you have had an LPA done and who are your donees. In fact, even if you had done it in hard copy previously, they're all scanned and uploaded there. With a SingPass, you can see all that information immediately. Very convenient. So if you're in doubt, just check.
Makes sense. And for somebody who has done up their will a few years ago, right? When is a good time to revisit their will?
Well, we believe that a will should be revisited regularly, minimally once a year. You don't have to rewrite your will once a year, but minimally to check back, one of our guys will check back whether there are any life events. There are any changes in your wishes, any changes in your assets. We have acquired certain things, you have disposed certain things, and we will make those adjustments. So typically, we won't have to make major changes in the will unless there's a significant life event or significant change in the beneficiaries. But yeah, it's good practice to review your will every year, review your estate plan every year.
Very nice. And what does Fin Group offer in the area of estate planning?
So first and foremost, we certify LPAs. We have a full spectrum will writing from the free platform writing all the way to legal professionals that get you a pretty complex will. We do focus a lot on trust. In fact, trust is something which I'm personally very passionate in, and I want to go out there to debunk the myth that trust is only for people who have a lot of assets. It's not true, and there are many advantages of trust, which by itself could be a 2-hour lecture that I could give. Yeah, so writing a trust, and then the fourth thing, which again very new topic, and is this concept of plan giving, where a lot of my clients probably have enough for this lifetime, and why not plan to give while you're alive, be it to charities, to causes that you believe in. And this is a very specialized segment of estate planning that is often not talked about, and in Singapore it's still in an infancy stage, but it's something that's so powerful that I'm trying to be an advocate for.
Very nice. And also, because I know that you want to grow the Fin Group, the mission that you have as well, right? What would you say is an ideal character trait for somebody to join Fin Group?
I mention this all the time, and in my interviews, I mention it to all my potential candidates that, we're in this business where we need to have the heart to want to solve problems first. I need potential colleagues of mine to be able to believe that what we do is not snake oil. And because unfortunately that's how the finance industry are often seen. And what we do is something which is very fulfilling. We're in a very privileged position, and the results that we bring forth to the clients is very meaningful. And so if you can go that and we just want to solve problems first without being first motivated by money, you will go a long way. Business will be bountiful, and you'll be richly rewarded. So yeah, that's that character trait. Don't be first and foremost overly motivated by money, because that's short term. Yeah.
Very nice. Because I know, I'm sure you heard of this saying that if you help enough people get what they want, you will eventually get what you want as
Absolutely.
well.
Yes.
Very nice. And that was episode 80 with Dr. U-Jin, founder and principal consultant at Fin Group. Dr. U-Jin, was there anything that I should have asked, or is there any last words that you would, if anybody wants to find you, wants to get in touch with you, where's the best place to get in touch with you and the Fin Group team as well?
Easiest way will be to check out our socials, our website, fingroup.sg. I'm known as the Dr. Banker on LinkedIn, and also the healthcare specialist. So we're not difficult to find. Just do a search and you'll find us.
Very nice. And if you want to get in touch with Dr. U-Jin, take a look at the show notes. I'll be adding in the links to that as well. And that was episode 80. I hope you learned so much, and that was very fulfilling. Thank you, Dr. U-Jin, for being here today. It was a real pleasure.
Thank you, Vicky, for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you at episode 81, and only 20 more episodes to episode 100, my milestone episode. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll see you all real soon.